Hello everybody, and welcome to the third video on the area and perimeter of rectangles. So in the previous videos we worked out the area of a rectangle by timesing the length times the width. And we worked out the perimeter by adding up the length of every side. But what happens if we don't have the length of one of the sides, but we do have the area? Well, in this scenario, we can work out the length of the other side because we know that area equals length times width, and we can rearrange this equation to give us length is equal to area divided by width. So this means the length of the side in this rectangle that we don't know is going to be equal to 414, the area, divided by 18, the width. So the answer is 23 meters. And we know the unit is meters because the area is in meters squared and the width is in meters, and we have to be consistent with our units. So now we've worked out the length of the rectangle, we can also work out the perimeter because the perimeter is the sum of all the sides. And because two of the sides are 23 meters and two of the sides are 18 meters, we can add 23 and 18 together and times it by 2 to get the perimeter. So the answer is 82 meters. And what about this next rectangle where we're given the length and the area, but we don't know the width? Well, again, because we know that area is length times width, if we rearrange the equation, we get width is equal to area divided by length. However, we can't put the numbers into the equation just yet because you may have noticed that the length is given in centimetres and the area is given in millimetres squared. And as we mentioned before, they have to be in the same units, so I've decided to change the length into millimetres, and there are 10 millimetres in a centimetre, so 6.3 centimetres is equal to 63 millimetres. So now we can find the width using these values. So the width is equal to 1,764 divided by 63, which is equal to 28 millimetres. And now because we have the length of both sides, we can work out the perimeter, which is 2 times 63 plus 28, which is equal to 182 millimetres. So what about these two rectangles? Can you find the missing length or width and perimeter of these? Pause the video here if you need more time. Looking at the top rectangle, we first want to check that our units are consistent, and they are. The width is in centimetres and the area is in centimetres squared, so we don't need to worry about changing any units. Now we know that length is area divided by width, so the length here is going to be 90 divided by 7.5, so it's equal to 12 centimetres. So now we have the length of all the sides, we can work out the perimeter, which is the sum of all the sides, or 2 times 7.5 plus 12, which is equal to 39 centimetres. And again, for the bottom triangle, the units are also consistent because the length is in kilometres and the area is in kilometres squared, so we don't need to worry about changing any units. And we know that width is area divided by length, so the width in this case is 2,405 divided by 65, so that equals 37 kilometres. And now we can work out the perimeter because we have the length of every side, so that is equal to 2 times 65 plus 37, which is equal to 204 kilometres. And finally, can you find the length and the width of this rectangle when we only have the area? Well, yes, we can, because as you can see, we're told it's a square, and we know that in a square, all the sides are the same length. So if we say the length of the square is A, then the width of the square is also A. Now we know that area is length times width, so we can say that area is A times A, or A squared. And we know the area, so we know that 36 is equal to A squared. So we need to find which number times itself is equal to 36. Well, 1 squared, or 1 times 1 is 1. 2 squared, or 2 times 2 is 4. 3 squared, 3 times 3 is 9. 4 squared, 4 times 4 is 16. 5 squared, 5 times 5 is 25. And 6 squared, 6 times 6 is 36. So now we know that A is equal to 6. However, we can't use this method when the numbers get more complicated, so we have to find a different way to find A. Now, if we take the square root of A squared, it becomes A because the square root cancels the squared out. But whatever you do on one side of an equation, you have to do on the other side to keep the sides equal. So we have to take the square root of 36 as well. So now we get the square root of 36 is equal to the square root of A squared. And if you take the square root of 36 on your calculator, you'll get 6. And as we've said before, the square root and the squared cancel each other out. So you get 6 is equal to A, or A is equal to 6 centimetres. And now we know the length of A is 6 centimetres, we can work out the perimeter because every side is the same in a square, so every side is 6 centimetres. So the perimeter is simply 4 times 6, so it's equal to 24 centimetres. I'm going to have to finish here, but thanks very much for watching, and please smash that like button and subscribe so I can continue to make videos to help you. Okay, I'll see you soon.